Welcome to the Manifestation Pod. We're Sam and Louise, two ordinary mums living extraordinary lives.
Every 2 weeks, we're diving into a new well-being, self-care or self-development topic that we've used to manifest a life of joy.
We want you to join us on this journey. We are all about building a community of people who are ready to do the same, manifest their best life, one step at a time.
So grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get started.
Hey, good morning, lovely people. I'm very late with this podcast. I said I'd do one 2 weeks ago and I didn't, so I apologise for that, if anyone's even listening. So the day I was supposed to do the podcast, I was packing to go on holiday. I had a really busy week. I don't know what happened to my voice then. I had a really busy week the week before I went away, and I spent the weekend before packing. So I didn't do the podcast. And then I thought I'd do it while I was away, but that didn't really pan out either, mainly due to mosquitoes. We went to Montpellier for a week, and the place that we stayed, which was called Pavalas, what's it called, Pavalas? No, it was called Palavas, was full of mosquitoes, which meant that we couldn't really eat out at night or sit out at night because they were just everywhere. I've got about 100 bites on me, so that's really attractive. I didn't do a pod while I was away, but I've got up this morning, it's Sunday. I've cleaned the house, I've done loads of washing, I've listened to a podcast. I'm feeling quite high. Not high, I've not been smoking drugs. High in terms of vibing. And yeah, I thought I'd do a little podcast and say hello to you all. So I think I had a look. I did reach out to you all and say, please get in contact with me. And nobody did, which is fine. But I think I've got some regular listeners, judging by the stats from the last 2 pods, where I could see a little pattern of people that had listened to the first one and then listened to the second one. So for that, I thank you. There was one person in a place called Canton. I can't quite remember where that was. I should have really done some research before I did the pod. I think it's in Michigan. So that was quite interesting. I love the idea of, I think I said this on the last pod, but I love the idea of I'm sat in my house on a Sunday morning, pottering around, having actually quite a nice Sunday. House is empty. I've got it to myself, which I'm quite enjoying after a week away with my partner and my daughter, being together for 24/7. I'm quite glad of some time to myself. And I'm just pottering around on a Sunday morning, and I'm always really interested in what other people do. What do your Sunday mornings look like? Are you doing the same? Are you pottering around? Are you doing something exciting? When we were in Montpellier, we went into the city one day and we happened to travel back by tram, at kind of tea time. And there was loads of commuters and I love people watching. And I was looking at people thinking, like, I wonder what your life looks like. I wonder where you're going back to, what your house is like, who you live with. Are you happy? Are you enjoying your job? Are you winning at life? Are you losing? There's something about travelling back on public transport. I don't go on public transport that often, but it's quite nice to have a look at other people and just have this little conversation in my head about what they're doing and what their lives look like. And I'm thinking, as I'm saying this about you listeners, I'm wondering what your Sundays look like what your houses are like. Have you got pets? Have you got kids? Is it a madhouse? Is it really quiet? My house is lovely and quiet this morning and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, there's that. And in terms of, I'm finding doing a pod on my own really difficult. So when me and Sam did it, we would just literally, as I'm sure you're aware if you've listened to any of our pods, we'd choose a topic, we'd rock up and we'd just talk about it. And it would be quite fluent and quite organic because me and Sam always have a lot to say to each other about anything to do with manifesting or personal development or self-development or anything like that because we're both really interested in it. Whereas me on my own, it feels a little bit, I don't want to say a chore because I like doing a podcast and I like the idea of doing a podcast, but actually doing it on my own is proving more difficult than I thought it would. I'm struggling to think of, well, I'm not struggling to think of like ideas of what to talk about because I've got loads of ideas, but it's how to talk about it on my own so that it sounds like interesting and people will want to listen to it. And also not having Sam to bounce off and I'd say something, then she'd say something. It's just, it's a bit tougher on my own. I'm definitely someone who, I don't know, I'm just better with somebody else rather than being on my own. Like naturally, I think I am just better than just me talking into my phone. Feeling like I'm the most boring person in the world, and you know what? I'm really not. But I feel like, I don't know, it's weird. I'm sure I'll get into it, and maybe I need to bring a little bit of intention and a little bit of consistency, and maybe once I get in the flow of it, it will get better, because I just don't want to bore you all to death, really. I think that's the main concern. I am going to bore you all to death. And you're all going to just switch off in droves. I mean, I say switch off in droves. I think there was only about 25 people who listened to the last podcast anyway. So, you know, hang in there, you 25. And you never know, it might just get better. I've listened to a podcast this morning about being single. So I was going to talk about boundaries and how by setting boundaries, you really firm on what you want in your life. So, as an example, when I was single and thinking about dating again, I was really clear. I was more clear about what I didn't want rather than what I did want. So I didn't have a list of requirements like, oh, he's got to be 6'2", he's got to have dark hair. In fact, it's a good job I didn't have those requirements because he's the complete opposite to that. He's not 6'2" and he's ginger. But I had very definite what I didn't want. I didn't want someone who was negative. I wanted someone who was a bit of a go-getter. I wanted someone who was kind. I wanted someone who was a family person. I had this list of requirements of what I wanted. I wanted someone who demonstrated no red flags whatsoever. And I've kind of got that. Paul, who I'm with, has ticked all those boxes. And I feel like, you know, I got exactly what I asked for. However, we're never happy, are we? I've listened to a podcast this morning about like the benefits of being single. And honestly, I do miss being single. And not for a kind of, oh, you can go out and you can date whoever you want when you're single. Absolutely not. Not for that reason at all. I honestly think if this relationship doesn't work out, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life through choice because they bloody hard work. So on holiday, we had a little bit of an incident with Paul and Charlotte not really getting on. They don't massively get on. They're very, very different. There's a massive age gap. And that kind of brought a little bit of stress to me. I sound really selfish saying this, but it was stressful for everybody. But I just think, I don't need this. And life was easy when I was single. Like, it was just me and Charlotte plodding along, doing our thing. She does what she wants, I do what I want. We do stuff together. It was a very easy, happy life. And now a third party's involved and it's just not as easy anymore. And I'm not saying I want to be single. I don't. I want to be in a relationship with this person right now. But I just forgot that relationships are just hard. And I've listened to this podcast this morning about how easy life is when you're single. And oh my God, for any of you singletons, it really is. You can do what you want when you want. You can be really selfish. You don't have to compromise. I've just sat and wrote a list this morning of things that I love doing. And I look at when I last did some of them, and honestly it was, and I can't blame Paul for this because one of them was at least 3 years ago, but I've just not got enough time to do everything that I want to do, and I still want to do stuff like that on my own. And I think when you're in a relationship, you do naturally end up doing stuff like that both of you do, and it's all very, you can wander around an antique shop, or you can go wander around the market on a Sunday and have lunch, and it all sounds lovely, but actually, what I really want to do is spend Sunday in my office, working on my business and maybe doing some sewing. Because I think when I'm single, I'm very, very focused on, well, if you've, I don't know whether you've been a long-term listener, but if you've listened from the beginning, I did so much when I was single, and, you know, we've kind of talked about it on the pod. You just naturally have more time and more energy, and you just focused on yourself 24/7, and that's such a nice place to be. And I'm really missing that this weekend. I think possibly because I have just come back off a holiday. The house is a bit of a tip. I've got loads of washing to do, which I've done. I've cleaned this morning. And it's nice to have a nice clean house, but it's certainly not brought me any joy. And this afternoon, I'm going to a party. It's Paul's mum's 90th birthday party with all his family, which, yeah, I want to go to. Yeah, it'll be nice to see all his family. My mum's coming as well because she knows his family. But that isn't what I want to do on a Sunday afternoon today. What I really want to do is go for a run. I want to make something really nice for lunch. I've got a new recipe, which I am going to do anyway. Charlotte's at her dad's, that's all fine. But I just want a day of indulgence and not going somewhere to sit with somebody else's family. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all lovely, his family, but they're not my family, they're his family. And I just feel like I almost don't want to go. Is that awful? I feel a right bitch now I've said that, but he doesn't listen to the pod, so that's all fine. And it is nothing against them. It is just the fact that I just want to do my own thing. So I guess the moral of the story is be careful what you wish for and enjoy what you've got while you've got it, because every time you manifest something or you really concentrate on getting something, and I feel like I manifested Paul because he came along at exactly the right time. He's exactly the right person for who I am now. I think I'm possibly the best version of myself. But there are some times that I just think, but look at what I've given up. Like, I've given up all the things that I do that bring me joy. Because by the time I spent time with him during the week, and I spent time with Charlotte during the week, and I've got friends that I do, you know, want to spend time with, there's not much left for me. And I'm really feeling that at the moment. And at work, I don't know whether I've even mentioned this, but I've been promoted. And that's a little bit of be careful what you wish for, because suddenly work's really busy. And I know it'll calm down, but I'm not sure that's what I want at the moment. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I need to have a big think about things. I feel like the house is coming together. I feel like in some areas of my life, particularly on paper, it all sounds great. House is nearly finished. I'm in a relationship with someone who I really love and I enjoy spending time with him. Me and Charlotte are fine, apart from the obvious teenage years, which we've just started on, and that's a bit challenging, but I'm sure we'll get there. Work, I've been promoted, I'm earning more money. Everything sounds great, doesn't it? But I'm just feeling a little bit something's missing, and it's definitely something just for me. So I'm going to spend the next half an hour, I'm going to make a salad. I'm going to make a really healthy tuna salad, and I'm going to spend some time thinking about what I want going forward. Because I just feel like at the moment, everything I talk about, like living your best life and doing things for you, I'm not doing any of that right now. I feel like I'm in a position where I'm giving out a lot, and it's not that I'm not getting much back. I'm getting other things back, but not necessarily that are bringing me joy. They're just a bit more, oh God, I don't even know whether I'm making sense anymore. I feel like I'm just waffling now. I'm going to have a big think, basically. If anyone's been in this situation that I'm in, please reach out to me and give me some advice. Yeah, and tell me. What I'm interested in is people that have kind of thought about what they want, worked hard for what they want. So, for example, this job that I've got, I first applied for it in 2023. It's not a job that comes up very often. I didn't get it, and I was absolutely gutted because I really felt at the time it was what I wanted. And then, ironically, the person who got the job has now just moved to a different job. So I've applied for the job that I applied for in 2023, and I got it. And I'm happy about it. There's definitely elements of the job that I really, really want to do and I'm enjoying doing. But it's just been a bit... I mean, I've not done a full week since I've started, which hasn't helped because of college, because of bank holidays, because of me having a holiday. And I'm sure it'll settle down. But right now, I just feel like I'm giving up again. It's just my time. Everything has become a little bit more time consuming. Having this job is more time consuming. Having a boyfriend is more time consuming. Having this house is more time consuming because it's bigger than the old one and it requires a little bit more maintenance, and that falls on me, which is fine, but I'm not sure I've got the time to enjoy anything anymore. I am very hormonal as well, let me just say. I could have this conversation in a week's time and be completely different. It'd be like, oh my God, my life's amazing. I think as well, I've just come back off holiday. I've definitely got a little bit of the holiday blues, and I've just been doing shit all weekend. Nothing particularly nothing that gives me any joy. I've done a food shop, I've been cleaning. Yeah, so I feel like I've gone low vibe and I was vibing quite high before, but it feels like a bit of a therapy session that I've been able to get all this out. And yeah, I think I just need to have a big think. In other news, I've been asked, I kind of put it out there and got a positive response. So I did a teaching college, which I may or may not have talked about because I can't remember when it was in relation to when I last did a podcast. But I did a micro teach of the course that I'm kind of doing, writing, selling, trying to build some kind of side hustle from it. And it went really well, and it really, really put me on a high and made me think, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to teach. And then one of the participants on the course has got me like a 30-minute lunch and learn at her workplace where I'm going to teach the course to her work colleagues. And honestly, I'm absolutely shitting myself. And I think another thing that I'm really lacking at the moment is high vibe friends to kind of big me up and say, oh my God, yeah, what you're doing is amazing, you can do this. I feel like I've lost loads of confidence. And that's, I think, partly because I'm spending more time with family, which I don't really think anyone understands, including Paul, like what I'm about, what that part of me is about. I don't think anyone fully understands it and understands how passionate I am about it. Or what it brings to me when people are on board and people are like, oh my God, I've completely changed the way I think about money. So there was a girl on the course who, when I did a course like Decluttering Your Finances, and when I told them what I was doing, she's a really nice person and she's really spiritual, and yeah, I feel like we've got loads in common, but she was just like quite negative about her own finances and, oh my God, I hate doing things like that, and it gives me dread and it gives me anxiety. And when I did the micro teach, at the end of it, she was like, oh my God, I really want to go home and like sort my money out. You've really motivated me. And that is all I want to do. Like, to give someone the motivation to think managing your money is like really exciting and not a chore. Yeah, I just want to do that full time. But it's how I get there from where I am now. And I'm doing this. So this micro teach was like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And now I've had 2 weeks. Well, I've had a week of that away in France with Charlotte and Paul. And I was trying to manage their expectations of the holiday, really, and trying to make sure that, I was just like Switzerland in the middle of them, really, trying to make sure everyone was having a nice time and, not battling each other, which took its toll on me. And what I really wanted and I do this a lot when I'm on holiday, when I'm lying by a beach or a pool and I'm just in daydream, I often think about work, and that's where my creative juices start to flow. And I really wanted to think about that on holiday. And honestly, I don't think I thought about it for one goddamn second, because I was so concerned with what was going on the holiday and trying to keep everybody happy and, play the peacemaker. So, yeah, that energy has gone somewhere that I didn't want it to go, and I'm finding it difficult to get it back here on my own. I almost need somebody else. I went for a walk with Sam, I can't remember, a couple of weeks ago, and I was vibing high after that. That reminds me, actually, she's put me in contact with a business coach, which I completely forgotten about, because I'm not spending any time, like, moving this forward. It's just when I remember, and that's not what I want to be doing. I want to be pushing it forward all of the time, because apart from family and loved ones and friends, it's the most important thing. It's more important than my job, really, because it's my passion. It brings me passion, it brings me joy. So it is more important than anything. It's more important than doing the house up, which my bedroom's next, and that's going to be a mammoth task, because I just don't know where I'm going to put everything while it's being done. So whilst, and I'm very aware of how entitled this sounds, whilst I'm lucky that it's being done, I've got the money to do it, it's causing other problems, and the thought of living in shit for 4 to 6 weeks is not particularly bringing me any joy either. I'm just moaning now, aren't I? I'm going to stop. I think what I'm going to do after this, I think I'm on the phone to someone. After this pod is I'm going to get in touch with the business coach and try and book in a conversation to get some clarity on where I want to be and get a plan in place. That is what I need, because if you are a long-term listener, you know how much I love a plan. And when I've got a plan, I can make it happen. When I've not got a plan, I'm flailing, and that's where I feel like I am at the moment. And I feel like I just wanted the rest of this day to really, I wanted to go for a run, because that always gets my creative juices flowing. I wanted the day for me and to be selfish and to get the juices flowing while I'm not in work, because at the moment in work, nothing flows other than work. It's all consuming at the moment. So actually, just by having this conversation out loud with you lovely people, I think I've made a plan for the next hour. I'm going to reach out to the business coach and book in a session. And I'm feeling quite positive already about that. I think sometimes we just need to voice out loud, don't we, what's going on in our heads. And I'm quite good at kind of cheering myself up, and if I am feeling a bit low vibe, this is such a strange podcast, because I've gone from quite high at the beginning to low to high at the end, which I suppose is a good place to finish. What am I on? 22 minutes. So I think I am going to wrap it up here, but I am going to commit to doing every Sunday, even though I said that last time and I haven't. And the pod will drop every Monday morning. And I think the next episode, I am going to do a decluttering your finances, and I'm going to somehow figure out how to deliver the course on a pod. And as usual, I'll probably just wing it, but I'm going to try and do some work between now and then, because I've got to deliver this course in real life. Oh my God, to a room full of people. And I'll go as far as to say shitting myself about that. College is finished now, and there was such a supportive group of people, and I felt really confident when I was there. And that little session every week kept my motivation high. And now I've not been for 2 weeks, I'm really noticing it. If anyone can send any words of wisdom about keeping motivation high when life is busy, then please let me know. If you could like this pod, if you do like it, I mean, if you don't, it's fine. But maybe review, maybe subscribe. I think you can do all that on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts from. And I'm going to say bye for now. But it's been lovely talking to you. I've got such a dry mouth. I'm just going to have a little drink. I'm back on collagen. Yeah, to make me look a little bit younger. So I'm just going to enjoy my Sunday, having this drink. It's been lovely talking to you all, and I will see you next Sunday. And I am going to do decluttering your finances. I'm going to write that down right now so I don't forget. Have an amazing week, and I will see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today on the Manifestation Pod. We hope you feel inspired to start creating the life that you've been dreaming of.
Remember, we're all in this together and we'd love for you to be part of our community. So don't forget to subscribe, share and connect with us on socials.
We're here every 2 weeks, so catch us next time with more tips and tools to help you manifest the life you deserve.
Until then, keep believing, keep manifesting and keep living that extraordinary life. Bye!
Bye!